scene started to flourish. Well, not started to flourish, but continued to flourish in the 80s. And it came along in early stages of hip-hop, which, you know, hip-hop was at its prime in its early ages. Wow. So, you know, I was lucky to come up in that. For me, it wasn't about money. I just wanted to be a part of something bigger than myself. And what better way to be a bigger part of something is music. So I watched the P-Rock and CL Smooth video when I was like 17. And it changed my life. Like, I was like, I have to be a part of it some way, somehow. But I still went to college and majored in history and whatnot, but still, this music just kept calling me, so I started going to school and went for it, man.
Okay. I know you got years of history, and I know you done did various acts.
Right.
Not to mention Jay-Z and Destiny's Child. Right. So, curious, out of all the music, out of all the tracks you can produce over the years, what would you say was your biggest one?
Big for different reasons, man. Like, the Jay-Z record was a big record for me because that was like my introduction to the world. I'd already done like Little Brother records and whatnot, but the Jay-Z was like introduction to everybody. The Destiny's Child ones was big because I never thought I'd be working with Destiny's Child like that. Like it was, you know, the Mary J. Blige record was big for two reasons, because that's what I won my Grammy for, and now they're playing in the new Tyler Perry movie, the one with yeah, at the end, The Good Woman Down. So that was big for me, for Tyler Perry to put in his movie.
That's a big record. That's a big record. Very conscious.
And it seemed like after the Jay-Z record, I started producing a whole lot of women empowerment songs. You know what I'm saying? Like Girl, She the Reason, Good Woman Down. And then I did and probably the one that was like closest to me out of all the records that I did was Honey, the one I did for Erykah Badu. Like, that was the one that's kind of like, you know, I never saw that coming. And she didn't, at first when we did it, she didn't pick it as a single, but Sylvia Rhone picked it as a single. So she was like, Sylvia Rhone, like your record. And it's like Honey is like Erykah's comeback record, so to speak. You know, like She Left Anywhere, but that's a record that everybody's like, it's back, it takes her back to Baduism, closer to Baduism. So that's the thing about that,
Okay, well, I got a question for you, right? So how did you feel when you got the call that Jay-Z was gonna use your music?
Well, I had to audition for the man first. You know what I'm saying? Like I had to play beats for him at first before I could just, you know, say he was gonna use my music. And Jay is a feel type of person. Like he has to feel the person that he's working with. So when, you know, working with Jay was an experience. And at first we cut the record, and then when they called me back up to mix the record, and I knew, you know, by that time that it was gonna be it. So.
All right, well, tell me, so when you mix this down, what's running through your mind? I'm curious.
Man, you know what I'm saying? You really don't have that much time to think, man, because after we recorded the record for the Black Album, like we recorded on a Monday. I played beats for him on a Saturday, recorded on a Monday. The word was out by Wednesday. Like I got a call from a couple of journalists out of Florida saying, man, I heard you on the new Jay-Z album. And I'm like, wow, y'all found out that fast, you know? So you really don't have that much time to think. It was basically, you know, I'm always been the type of person of what's next. Like the Jay-Z record, I like what's next. The 3 Destiny's Child records, what's next. Everybody do, you know, the Grammy, what's next. Like it's a what's next thing for me. It's never get complacent. I always feel like I got more work to do. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it is.
Okay. So, well, for producers aspiring to get where you at, what do you use to make your music?
Well, I do 2 things. I started on FL Studio. Well, it was Fruity Loops, and they changed to FL Studio.
I had heard that. Now I'm gonna ask you that.
Yeah, of course. To be honest with you, man, like all of the big records that I've done, like on all these big records, Ludacris record, every record that I've done, it's been on FL Studio. Like I made the actual beat for Erykah Badu's Honey 7 years ago. Like that's a beat. That's why I say everybody save your beats, because you never know who's gonna like what. You know what I'm saying? The Badu record is 7 years beat is 7 years old. The Good Woman Down Mary J. Blige record is like 6 years old. So you never know who likes what. So you got to keep everything.
That's bananas. That's bananas.
It's important to keep everything.
Okay. So now I read that you are lecturing in North Carolina. Mm-hmm. So now how did you begin lecturing?
I used to go around and speak at high schools. Okay. I had a lot of friends that I went to school with that was, you know, would come and say, yo, man, come talk to my kids for me. You know what I'm saying? So I would go do that. And the school that I went to black college. I went to North Carolina Central.
Okay.
And so the chancellor at the time came to me and said, I want you to start a class here at Central. Well, I did that for 3 years. And I taught the class with play from Kid and Play. Right?
Okay. Shout out to Kid and Play.
Yeah, I would play, and he was really big in Christian ministry and whatnot. So then I went from there to now I teach at 2 colleges now. I teach at Duke University, which is in Durham.
Okay.
And I teach at a black college in Concord, North Carolina, called Barber Scotia. And they lost accreditation, like they're like losing money. They're probably in the same situation where Morris Brown is in Atlanta. Okay. And so I teach at that school too, and that's more of a voluntary thing because they don't have the money to pay and stuff like that. And they're trying to get their accreditation back, so I'm pulling double duty. You know what I'm saying? But it's rewarding, man. I tell beat makers all the time, you got to be more than beats. If you want your career to go, right, you just got to be more than beats. You just can't be just beats. You got to be more than that.
Man, that was a mouthful you just said. Right. For a lot of people got to understand that. You know, exactly. I deal with a lot of people on a regular basis, and they think it's just that. But you know, you really got to have another trade.
Yeah. You got to. Music, hip hop is more than just beats and rhymes. It's management, it's artist development, it's education. It's so much. So you just got to do more than that.
Can't leave out there patience. Okay. So what's next for Ninth Wonder?
Man, for real, like social activism, man. Like it ain't enough. It's not enough of us hip hoppers doing stuff for kids, really. I mean, you know, it pains me. We want kids to buy our records, but we don't want to do anything for them past that. And so my biggest thing is to bridge the gap between the generation before us and the generation after us. Because, you know, you hear a lot of old cats say all the time, we didn't pass the torch to the next generation. We ain't passed the torch. So my thing is I want to pass the torch. Not only through music, but just everything, you know what I'm saying, to keep our generations together. Because if we don't, you know what I'm saying, it's gonna be like it's all over again. So that's the biggest thing for me, really.
Okay. Now you know what, man. Before the interview started, I told you I gotta hit you with the question of the day, right? Yeah. So you know, with you being a veteran, how many years you got under your belt?
7.
Okay.
7 to 8.
All right, 7 to 8 years. So that means that you're over the age of 21, so you got
over the age of 21.
Yeah, way over. And I know you got a lot of knowledge. So, question of the day: what would your top 5 producers be?
Just hip hop or period?
Period. Yeah. Question of the day.
Well, what I'm just passed, Willie Mitchell.
Okay.
That's number 1.
That's 1.
Gamble and Huff. You familiar with Gamble and Huff? It's Philadelphia. Sound of Philadelphia. That's, for those who are not familiar, that's OJ's Tenant Pit of Grass. Sound of Philadelphia. Quincy Jones, man.
Shout out to Quincy Jones. I said that the other day. He was my first one.
Yeah, Quincy Jones.
Come on, you gotta give me 2 more. Nine.
Oh man. Producers. Curtis Mayfield.
Okay. Shout out to Curtis down south.
A lot of producers.
Come on, you gotta give me 1 more. I know you can give me 1 more.
You know, the biggest and the only really hip hop producer you can put in that realm is probably Dr. Dre. That's probably the only producer you can put in those realm of artists because his work, the people that he put out, the producers. I mean, the Dr. Dre put out probably, if you name your top 10 most well-known, not most skillful, not the most well-known rappers.
Right.
Dr. Dre is responsible for 3 of them: Snoop, M, and 50. So you can't deny that, no matter if you like them or not. You know, so Dre on my top 5.
And I gotta hit you with 1 more question before we end. You know, with music taking a turn